Welcome to Mr. Chalk's Revision Tips. In this video, we will look at food security, farming methods and agricultural costs. So the dramatic rise in the world's population growth is forcing questions to be asked about how existing global food manufacturing practices can ensure that there is enough nutrients or food available for everyone in the world. So there are a number of different factors. So economic factors, so these include whether food is available at prices that people can afford to pay. Physical factors, which include the availability of land to grow or rear food, so the effective trading policies and the efficient transportation and distribution of food to ensure it gets to where it's needed. Organic farming uses natural methods to grow food, so this means that using organic fertilizers and pesticides such as animal slurry or natural predators and no artificial fertilizers and predators. Yields from organic crops are initially low, but they can increase over time. So, farmers using organic methods use other ways to combat pests and disease. So these include spraying natural chemicals obtained from plants onto their crops, picking pests such as caterpillars off their plants by hand, placing natural predators to the pests on the crops, growing almost amongst the crops other plants that repel insects. And the methods used in organic farming are likely to cause less damage to the environment than synthetic chemicals used in intensive farming. So intensive farming is an agricultural method that uses mechanization and is designed to maximize yields. So farmers using intensive methods of agriculture combat pests and disease by spraying their crops with chemicals that kill them. So these chemicals are synthetic compounds that are produced by the chemical industry. However, some of the chemicals used by these farmers may also kill helpful insects such as bees. And furthermore, the chemicals may get into water supplies or food chains, harming the wildlife. So some people think that intensive farming of pigs is unethical. So it's just two possible disadvantages of this farming method. So it means that diseases could spread more rapidly and antibiotics might have to be used that will build up in the food chain. And if we're looking to explain how the efficiency is increased by the intensive farming of pigs, less energy is used because less heat is lost by controlling body temperature. So less energy is required for movement, so the energy is more available for growth, and less energy or heat is transferred to the environment. So it's difficult to create an economic development without causing or having sacrifices to the environment. So technological developments in food production can have a negative impact on the environment, which in turn affects the availability of a food source. So climate change is significantly affecting food production and yields. Water scarcity can have a huge impact on food production. Soil health needs to be protected by good management and conservation. And as the population growth increases, there are pressures to catch food on a larger scale, which have resulted in overfishing, depleting fish stocks to levels that might not be recoverable from. So the necessity to intensively farm animals or crops to meet demands of a growing population can impact on the health, since diseases can spread more quickly, and this increases the need to use more antibiotics or pesticides. So a third of the crops are pollinated by insects, and further declines could lead to higher food costs and potential shortages. So as the population growth increases, there are also pressures to clear land to grow crops or rear livestock, resulting in a loss of natural habitats. So if we're looking at stating the factors that can have an effect on the food security, population size, diet, pathogens and disease, climate change, farming costs, armed conflict, soil health. There is a very, very long list of things that you could have for this. So farming is expensive in terms of land costs, machinery, fuel and fertilisers. As costs increase, many farmers find it too expensive to continue farming, so farms shut down and food production stops. So this has a negative impact on food security. So an increased animal feed prices. So volatile global markets for products such as animal feeds have strong impacts on the price of meat and dairy. So the rising costs of grain for feedstock have increased prices of beef and pork. And pressure on food producers to provide food at low prices has resulted in food scares. So we can think about the horse meat scandal, where horse meat was discovered in beef products. Retailers got blamed for it. However, it wasn't necessarily their fault in touch because they didn't choose to have it put in the food. However, because they were demanding it at lower prices, people along the food chain went and put it into lower costs.
Thanks for watching.